career was as an engineer and a physicist. I was an executive with a Fortune 20 IT company before I was 35 years old. I was managing over $1 billion in revenue, traveling around the world on the corporate jet. That is the way to travel, by the way. And managing teams that were developing the world's leading technologies. I had followed what I thought were the rules of life. Work hard, be good, and enjoy the fruit of your labor. I thought everybody else should do the same if they wanted to be successful. The cardinal sins: irresponsibility and laziness. And that is exactly what I thought about people that were struggling with addiction. I thought that people that were dependent on a substance just needed to get their act together, be more responsible, and get a job. Boy, was I wrong. I'm Kelly Lyndgaard. I'm the founder and CEO of Unshattered, a 501c3 nonprofit social enterprise whose mission is to end the addiction relapse cycle. The first time I heard the story of a woman in recovery was Emily. Emily was raised by a single mom who was sick and often in bed. And by 8 years old, Emily was taking care of herself, her mom, and her brother. She had a 15-year-old neighbor who thought it would be funny to get an 8-year-old high. Yep. Her life quickly unraveled into addiction and homelessness. And for the first time, I considered, how could I hold somebody accountable for their irresponsibility when their journey of addiction began when they were just a child? As a result of hearing Emily's story and beginning to understand some of the issues surrounding addiction, I started to realize how difficult it was for people to maintain their sobriety for the long term. Let me tell you a story about one of those women that I would have previously judged so harshly. Amanda was a great kid. She was smart, beautiful, well-liked, until her family moved in her preteen years, and she was bullied for being the new kid in school. Didn't take her long for her to figure out that if she drank and smoked a little weed, her peers thought she was cool and fun. Eventually, her weed and alcohol habits led to a car accident. A car accident led to painkillers, and that exploded into a full-blown heroin addiction. That comes with all of the other issues that you and I imagine when we think of someone who's addicted to heroin. Incarceration, prostitution, homelessness. Amanda knew that she would die in her addiction if she didn't get help. But an opportunity came along while she was incarcerated where she learned about a recovery program that would help her. She entered recovery and she did great. But, like a lot of people who enter a long-term recovery program, she didn't have many other choices on the other side of getting sober. She had gotten sober, but with no safe community to return to, her risk of relapse was significantly increased. Amanda smoked crack 12 hours after returning home. 12 hours. I call this the day 366 problem. What happens for Amanda and other women like her after they complete a year-long residential recovery program? As I watched women fight hard for their sobriety, only to die of an overdose, days, sometimes hours after returning home, I started to realize how difficult it is for people to close the gap between sobriety and long-term success. I got tired of watching women die that I knew were talented and capable and just lacked the resources to thrive. And I knew that with my background in business, that I could build an organization that could help pave the road, between sobriety and long-term success. But life often has unexpected challenges, doesn't it? I resigned from my career in IT and I set out to build Unshattered. But the very week I left my job, I made one of those doctor's appointments. The kind, you know the kind, ladies, the kind you don't ever want to go to? Yeah. It was at that appointment that I discovered that I am a carrier of the BRCA2 genetic mutation, making me highly susceptible to breast, ovarian, and several other cancers. My risk of breast cancer was 87%. My risk of ovarian cancer was 50%. I decided to face my risks head-on and save my own life. I decided to have 3 major surgeries in a row to reduce my odds. I had a full hysterectomy and oophorectomy, a double mastectomy, and complete reconstruction. It was no easy task, but sometimes we know we have to make serious changes in order to thrive, don't we? It was a difficult decision for a woman just shy of 40. But the day that I walked out of my final surgery, I had 2 thoughts. Number 1, I have never been more of a brave badass than this. And number 2, it's all healing from here. I had to change something physical and difficult in order to greatly improve my chances at living. But the scars from those surgeries are the very thing that remind me how brave I am. That is what Unshattered does for women overcoming addiction. We physically airlift them out of the environment where they have the highest odds of failure and give them employment, community, and the resources that they need to significantly increase their chances of success. Our women come from all over the country to be part of a like-minded community who are expressing our value and our purpose through our work and are committed to ongoing personal, professional, and spiritual development. Our model is working. We've been employing women in recovery for more than 6 years, and we've only had a single relapse in our employee base. After her relapse, Amanda returned to the recovery program, this time determined to do whatever it took to change her life. After she completed her year in the program, she joined Unshattered because she knew she had to make a significant physical change in order to live. Unshattered helps women like Amanda continue their journey beyond sobriety and move towards healing and growth. We employ women to make gorgeous handbags out of all upcycled materials. Things like retired military uniforms, scraps from premium designers, the interior of the original 1955 Mercedes-Benz. And through our partnership with Southwest Airlines, the leather upcycled from the seats on their planes. Our bags are a metaphor for the lives of the women who make them. Something perceived as discardable and worthless, remade into something of beauty, purpose, and meaning. Each of our bags has 3 secrets. The first is a gold seam that we incorporate as a nod to the Japanese art form of kintsugi, which uses gold to heal the cracks in broken pottery. This way of mending vases and other shattered objects was so beautiful that it became a form of art. The term kintsugi means more beautiful for having been broken. And those scars are a reminder of how beautiful it is to heal. We have 2 other secrets for our bags, but you'll have to go to the website to find out what they are. Unshattered does more than just employ women in recovery. We invest in helping them discover their innate capacity to become who they are called and created to be. We invest 10% of our team's paid time in personal and professional growth. Things like therapeutic counseling, professional mentors, educational workshops, so they can reach their highest potential. Amanda is now our creative lead and product manager. She's responsible for the design of all of our gorgeous bags. She partners with industry experts to bring world-class process and quality into our work. Last year, she was named 40 Under 40 Business Leader for our county. I'm not done. She's spoken at the White House. She's spoken on the steps of the New York State Capitol building, and she's 4 semesters into her college degree, every single one of them on the dean's list. More importantly, her kids get to see her living up to her fullest potential. It is a brave thing to rearrange your body or your life in order to save it. But sometimes that's the only thing that will. Every day, I think about the fact that our future employees are still somewhere out there sticking a needle in their arm to get high. I hope that they're on their way to us, however long that takes. And I hope that the very first day that they walk through the doors of Unshattered, that they are thinking 2 things. Number 1, I have never been more of a brave badass than this. And 2, it's all healing from here.